welcome to the NoireFitFest. My name is Miss Fit Queen UK, and I am going to be hosting today's panel. I'd like to welcome you, and first of all, we'd like to thank our sponsors. So we have Drink Food, we have EMD UK, we have Sweaty Betty, For a Space, and don't forget that if you are watching us on Zoom, that you can contact us by using the hashtag, which is NoireFitFest. So first of all, before we go into it, I'd like to introduce our panel for today. Should we start on the left?
Hello, everyone. My name is Zelia, and I teach a whole bunch of things, but mainly yoga and anything to do with breathing and movement. My hook is at Yoga Zone with Zelia and Zelia Zone _IHP, and I am so thankful for NoireFest putting this on. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Zelia. Next up.
Hiya, I'm Malika aka malikafayefitness. I have my own brand of Get Your Life classes, so HIIT classes, pump classes, and also most recently 30-day online challenges. Throughout quarantine, I've done loads of online live streams, which have been free and really amazing, getting everyone together.
Great.
I'm really, really happy to be here at NoireFitFest on this panel. Thanks.
Great, and last but not least.
Definitely. My name is Joshua Olazimeji. I am one of three, and I'm going to have to say the Mecca and Labi are one of three of the directors of Elite Evolution, which is a health fitness industry. And what we do is we've got a gym in Hackney, and please follow us on Elite Evolution and all our socials. So that's us.
Great, and as I said before, I'm Ifende, aka Miss Fit Queen UK. I am a personal trainer. I'm also a bodybuilder. I also do online classes, and I've just come up with my first product launch, which are waist snatchers, and they're doing well. So we are a great panel, isn't it? Good panel to discuss. And what we are doing today, guys, is we are discussing the visibility of Black fitness. So just in like a few sentences, what do you think that's about? Celia, we'll start with you.
Oh, wonderful, thank you. Essentially, I don't believe we have as much visibility. I understand.
Straight in the judgment.
Yeah, straight in. It's not there. There's not enough. Reason being, I know we are not the majority of this population, whether it's UK, whether it's Europe, but however, we still need our level of representation, and whether or not it is down to the climate of the society, if you like, that we live in, I think that's the main thing, because as you can see, there are just four here. Trust me, there are thousands out there that are so ready and willing to give you everything that we possibly have. We just don't seem to have that elevation of platform to do so.
Right, love that. Malika?
She went straight in there. So, I mean, look, I'm not going to deviate too much from actually what you've said, because you raised some really key points there, but just in terms of, for me, representation, we are not a minority. We have the pull-in power as Black people to really boost, you know, certain brands, and, you know, our power and our pull-in power is so high. So I feel like there's a disparity in terms of our presence and what we're allowed, almost, how far we're allowed to go. But we are here and we have a presence as far as I'm concerned.
Great.
Well put.
Love that. Joshua?
I think representation is just unbelievably important, just for what people see and what they can visualize and where they can see us. It makes them want to go there and do it. So I believe if we have more representation from magazines, from gym owners, from people in high places, I think again you're going to push the extremes from one end to the other and making sure people can see us go to the next level. And I think it's so important, it's so invaluable to have more representation visually and behind the scenes.
Right. All right, guys. Well done, that was good.
Yeah,
right, so one more time, I just want to remind everyone to please use the hashtag, which is NoireFitFest, and let us know that you're watching us and you're in tune with us. Right, guys, so I'm going to read some stats and then we'll go from there. So within the UK, stats show that just 56% of Black people are hitting the recommended amount of weekly fitness. 56, so hold that. Compared to 62% of the general population. With such alarming stats, what do you think are major contributing factors as to why the Black community statistically struggle with overall fitness? Let's start this side.
Okay, I think straight away it's about...
First of all, so what do you think of those statistics?
I think it's shocking, but also it's not shocking to me in terms of being in the fitness industry. So I think it's something that and I love data, I love numbers, I love understanding numbers, and it gives you an understanding of what the industry looks like. So I do think it's something that we have to look and we have to address, because with too many times we're underrepresented in different areas of society, and once again we see it again in fitness. And I think your question you were saying about why do you think that is?
That's right, exactly.
So I really believe it's how the industry is targeting certain people, and that again I want to talk about representation again, what people look like and what people see, and even the accessibility to things. So I think there's a lot more incentives to different communities than there is to the black community. So one of the things when you go through the magazines and you look at men's health, I know in the last year there was only 2 front pages of a black man on there. Wow. So already when you go in there, you're not thinking that's something for me. And sometimes you can see fitness as a luxury instead of a necessity. And we need to make sure we need to push that out. And if the health service and everyone that makes fitness show how important it is and make sure it's not something that it's a second-rate thing, it's something that we have to do, I think that's going to really push the community to get into fitness, and we really need to target it. That's
right. I just want to expand a tiny bit on that. Do you think black people see fitness as a luxury?
I wouldn't say totally, but sometimes if you have certain things you need to get first, you might think that's not as important of right now. Okay. And sometimes that may go into class and classism as well. Sometimes you might think this is not something I need to do straight away. So when you're not represented and you're not pushed out or you're not seen in the fitness industry, you might think, no, this is something I can do as a luxury.
So I need to pay my bills, I have to do other stuff first before you put fitness. Right, Malika, so on to you.
Yeah, I mean, chiming in on that representation element, that's huge. I think that plays a huge part in the statistics that you've just read off, because like you said, if we're not seeing ourselves on the front pages of every health and fitness magazine, every advert that comes on, you know, for a gym or whatever, you're less inclined to feel like, oh, I want to do that. And I also feel like, you know, may or may not agree, but culturally, we like our food, we prioritise different things.
Everybody likes to party.
I just have to say that. Because, you know, there's representation is huge. We not understand that. But our cultures, I feel, we're not the fit ones. We're athletes, we're all these other things, but I'm talking about general population. A lot of people say it as, oh, that's so good. I'll just, you know, go for a little walk and once a week, but I need to eat my full fat cheese and I need to eat, you know, my mac and cheese on my Sunday.
Every day.
Then I've got to have my, you know. So I feel like people feel our relationship with food culturally, I think, has an impact as well, because we want to eat stuff, we don't necessarily feel like we want to go and train. And that's across the board, but I do personally feel close to it because we're black people and we love our food.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's a very good point.
So we've got representation, we've got food, and Vivian, what do you think?
I might take this somewhere completely different. Reason being, I like sitting on the fence. I can see things from many different sides. However, essentially, I think we need to remember we are a very strong and resilient people. We are still here. We have been through, we all know what we go through, and we are still here. Now, essentially, I think physically we are strong, we are capable, but this is the thing when we look at fitness. Now, I come from a basis, if you like, that it's not always just about taking yourself out and getting to a class. And please, don't get me wrong, come to any classes that we do. However, there's also that internal. From the minute you wake up out of bed and you turn your head left to right, you stretch your arms out, that is movement. From the minute you take yourself onto the dance floor, and hey, we all like to go out, whether it's a family party, whether it's a club, everything is movement. And then when we look at fitness, we are harnessing that movement for a level of improvement, if you like. And if not improvement, definitely maintenance. Food is essential. Think about what we put in, but also have that most 100% definite. We have our cultural, you know, whether it be a yam, whether it be fufu, whether it be, the macaroni cheese or the rice and peas. I think everything has its place, and it's about having that balance within your input and your output being equal, if not preferably your output overtaken your input.
bit.
So I'm kind of marrying everything,
Right,
but it has
right.
to start from within, that wellness,
Yeah.
before we're worried about the external of what we look like.
Yes.
It's always about how we feel.
Yeah.
And we've got to feel, you've got to harness that 100% belief in self-love. I don't care if you're size 26 or size, I don't know, American size 2. It's really about owning, loving who we are, however we are.
Yeah, because one thing I
Yeah.
always say personally is that it always starts with the mind, right? Like you're not going to want to go to the gym if you don't feel it and if you don't think it. Like I'm sure as people in fitness, one of the first thoughts in our head is always, I've got to do this, being active, I've got to do this. And a lot of people, that's just not their priority. Yeah,
It's because it makes us feel good.
Yeah, exactly. And as you were saying, like I do feel like food is more of a comfort thing. You know, it's how
It's
we
a
feel.
necessity, isn't
Exactly.
it?
Yeah.
To survive, you need to eat.
Right, exactly.
Right,
But then
so-
in our culture, it's like, how do we turn fitness into more of a necessity?
That's right.
So, anyway, so next question, guys, and that kind of
So
marries
sorry, I
into
went
what.
off on the train.
Oh no, and that marries into what Joshua was saying. So, you spoke about the industry being a bit more inclusive.
Yeah.
Right. So our next question is: do you think that the fitness industry, from big gym brands to boutique gym brands, yoga studios, etc., have a responsibility to be more inclusive when promoting / targeting their potential consumers? Is it their responsibility?
Can I?
Come on.
Yeah, I'm done.
Speak
I
on it,
can
speak on
I'm
it.
ready to speak about this. And I think, you know, we hear this, you know, the phrase of anti-racist, and you know, a lot of companies now, especially fitness companies, are pushing this anti-racist. But what do they actually mean by being anti-racist? And I think they have to be intentional. So 100%, they need to do stuff to be intentional. They're seen, and I think they've been intentional by targeting other markets. So they need to be intentional by targeting also the black market, to get people involved, to get them understanding this is a necessity and this is what we need to do. So yes, I do think it is a responsibility. Just like anything, if we know, like we're in the middle of a pandemic and we heard a lot of things, and the way the media twisted it as like it was a black thing, like it was something in a genetic, but it wasn't genetic, and it's something we have to break and we have to be intentional about to change that mind. It's about health. How do we get more people, how do we get black people into fitness and make them understand that you need to go to the gym, you need to have better lungs so you can fight a virus, you need to not have diabetes, and we know how we can reverse diabetes so we can be better. So we, as fitness companies, definitely the big brands, they need to start thinking, how can we be intentional about getting more black people into, or ethnic people into our gyms and getting them in exercising. So I do, sorry, I'm a bit passionate about this.
No, it's
so I
good.
feel
Yeah,
like you
it's
have
good.
to be intentional. It's not enough to say I'm not racist. How are we going to be
Omission's not enough.
anti-racist in the fitness industry?
Okay, I'm just going to expand a tiny bit. So how do you think they could do that? Like, just give 2 ideas.
2 ideas. One of the things is incentives. I know at one point there was a really massive problem with diabetes. So what a lot of gyms started doing was giving to certain communities like a discount price to go there. So that is being an incentive. We're going to do this. We're going to have these type of people. Another thing is being representation in their pictures. Is to do yoga, you don't have to be skinny and you don't have to be, sorry to say it, blue-eyed blonde to be a yoga instructor.
Yes.
So change that narrative, change that is something that we can do, and that is being intentional.
Right, and I'm just gonna put my little input. Like the thing is that I was scrolling, as you do, on Insta, and there are still a lot of clothing brands that they're just not representative of our people, and I'm just like, wait a second. So we don't train, we don't jog, we don't sprint, we don't run, we
And
don't
we
jump.
obviously don't do yoga.
And we don't do yoga.
We don't get, because that takes us to a train of where did yoga start, but we won't go
Right.
there.
Yeah, Celia, go on then. On to you then. Next. What do you think?
No, but I think, you raise a very good point. It is about representation, seeing. You know, you see, oh look, I think that, I would go there, because that person that, I'll be honest with you, I popped into, this is another train, past a mechanic the other day, and I just needed something very quickly done on the car, and I saw a number of black people, black mechanics in there, black people with their cars in there. Have never been there in my life, went in there, immediately felt, do you know something? Yeah, I think I could get what I want from there, because I saw a representation of self, which is an amazing thing. Now, I don't know, you could probably confirmed that, but there was also a scheme that GPs were doing, that if you were within the pre-diabetic stage, you could get not just the discount, but I think free admission for a point, which again is wonderful to be given that. And don't get me wrong, we are all business people to different levels. We know what it takes to keep a business going, but in the same breath, we have the will and the want to give that element of health, because we're sustaining not just our health, but we're giving our longevity for life, and that's what we're here for. We want that to be accessible to all. But yeah, so I don't know if GPs are still doing that. It's not about knocking down, and yes, I hate to say it, all black people want a bargain. It's not about a bargain, okay? It is about
just making it more accessible.
Making it accessible to all. So no matter what your income is, your ability to access the things that make life a joy, make life long, is there.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate before I go to Malika. So, obviously, because of COVID, 24-hour gyms are no longer 24 hours. But 24-hour gyms are from $15.99 per month. Do you not think that most black family households can access that?
It really depends on the household. No one knows what goes on. But that, to me, if I'm honest, personally, I would say
if you can buy 2 drinks on a night out.
I would say that's reasonable.
Just saying, just devil's advocate. Just devil's advocate.
But you don't know. You don't know anyone's pocket.
You know what? Go on, let me go to you. Then Joshua.
I understand you. We don't know everyone's pocket. We don't. I do understand that. However, £15 a month, £20 a month. If you compare that, that's like what a pure gym membership, or the gym group, or go to David Lloyd for whatever 70, 80, 100 plus pound a month, depending on the level of membership you want. Do you know what I mean? Third Space London. There's different gyms which cater for different audiences. I will say that. And there is, the basic gym that you can go to, and I must say, depending on your priorities, 100%, that is reflected in what you're going to spend your money on.
Right.
But
so then
I
back to the question.
It's unaffordable.
Okay. So back to the question: do you think that they are being inclusive, these bigger gyms or these boutique gyms?
Maybe.
Just given the point I put in.
I think the kind of bougie, if you like, gyms could do a lot more work. Personally, I've been in there. I see, the clientele, and you see. And you think, okay, there's certain, members who are in there. Some are representatives, most are not. Okay. Most are not, I will say that. But, I think the sort of the cheaper gyms do a bit, not enough. Okay. Your £15.99 a month gyms probably could do a lot more as well. But I see more of myself represented in those gyms. It's more affordable, and that's something that I can't deny. I think it's affordable.
Okay.
Right?
I'm going to plug something as well. We are a 24-hour gym, and we are a 24-hour gym in Hackney, and we are $24.99 a month, and we are boutique. And I would say bougie as well, but we do accept. And I think
when you
it's coming. We're going to get some sponsors. I'm going to ask some of the sponsors to help us out. Floor Space, help us out. We want a gym. So with a jacuzzi.
We're going to need the relaxation element.
Yeah, we do. And I think, again, going back to what everyone's saying in terms about affordability, like there's a statistic that came out in the Independent. It was talking about amount of how much the average income of a black family in terms of wealth, and how much income in terms of a white family has, and it's over £200,000 wealth of a white family, and it was like £24 of wealth in a black family. Sorry, £21,000 of wealth in a white family. So straight away, there's a massive gap. So I know we might look at $15.99 and we do that. We might think of priorities, but the way adverts and the way you advertise to the priority is deliberate. Okay. And so when they advertise, like you say, the bougie, the David Lloyds, they don't. When you come in, if you came into, and this might be wrong of me, and this is my opinion, if you came into a David Lloyd and there was all black people in there, people might feel like, oh, this is not what I paid for.
Okay.
And that sounds horrible.
Do you know, I like that?
It sounds horrible. But when they go in there and they go in there, there's not that many black people in there, they may think, oh, this is
this is my scene.
That's what I'm paying for.
You're talking about from the perspective of a black person.
And I know someone.
And that's sort of that type of thing. And I think they deliberately do that to make sure they advertise to certain types of people, to make sure you come into it and put in certain types of areas as well. So that's, again, these are all the systemic and these intentional things they've done in the past for adverts as well.
Right, which leads me into my next question, guys.
This is not practice, this is off the...
So it leads me to my next one, which is black fitness influencers. Would you say you're an influencer? Yes, you have over 5K, you're an influencer. Social media has turned into a great tool for fitness professionals to promote their business. I'm sure we can all agree on that. Do you think brands have recognized the popularity of well-known black fitness influencers / professionals, and have brands been approaching them in the way that white fitness professionals have been approached?
No. No.
Right, well, can I start with you?
Can I just jump straight in?
Yeah, I would.
Go into your following, how long you've been on, let's say, Instagram or social media, what you've done, because I know you're a pro fitness athlete, and what opportunities have come from those? Go into it.
Okay.
Be honest.
So, I mean, I've competed. I've won a pro title, bodybuilding championship title in 2016. I've competed at international pro level as well the same year. And, you know,
3 kids, by the way.
3 children. But, you know, I've done a fair bit, and I've done it as a mother of 3. So there's a few different avenues within which I can say, all right, cool, I've done the work, okay? And I've been on Instagram for quite some time. I only set up my fitness page probably back in late 2015 before I started competing. At the same time, I qualified as a personal trainer, and after I competed, I set up my Get Your Life kind of classes, outdoor fit camps, HIIT classes, etc., teaching at gyms. What I will say, is that in terms of opportunities, I was quite thankful. I mean, I had, or we'll say lucky, I had sponsorship when I was competing from a black-owned company, which was amazing. And one thing I will say is that people I know who've been in that industry, especially the bodybuilding industry, a longer time than me, were like, wow, hold on, you've got sponsorship, and they're actually paying for you to do things. Like, they paid my flight to travel to Toronto when I competed abroad, and you know, they, I don't know if you've heard of, what was it called? Something London. Okay, gone out of my head. Anyway, it's a big fitness event that's happened at the, I think it was the XL. Anyway, and there was a stall there and all these sorts of things, but I've done the rounds. I've done the Body Power Expos, been on stand with my bodybuilding federation. I've had a lot of exposure. What I will say though, in comparison to, I'm going to be honest, my white counterparts in this industry, huge difference. Huge difference, i.e.
even in following.
There's following is one thing, but they're catapulted, they're marketed, they're latched onto, almost exalted, and they've done less in effect than what I may have achieved. And it's clear, it's not even a thing, it's just, it is what it is. It's like what the sad part, some of the things you might say, or I've even, you know, been said to me when I was young, and I try not to say this to my children, but, you know, you've got to work twice as hard, you know? All of that as than your white counterparts, because that's just how it is. And I hate that. I hate that. But is it not the world that we live in? It is. Is it not? So following is one thing it can certainly affect. I mean, but I'm not precious about that sort of thing. I'm precious about my gift and what I know I'm sharing, and my reach, and my followers and people who follow me for the reasons that they follow me for, because they're inspired and they want to get into fitness and all the rest of it, or just the fact that I'm a mum, or they like the way I look, whatever, and they're like, well, I've achieved, and that's fine. But there is a disparity, I'm not going to lie. And what I will say as well is that big brands like Gymshark have been the topic of conversation on social media, in particular about their lack of representation of black athletes and black fitness professionals. And to the point where they're atted in posts. I know you must have seen it as well. They're atted, like, so where's the representation here? And lastly, with Black Lives Matter and everything that's happened this year, can we just now see the amount of brands that have bunny hopped onto the backs of this whole movement? Representation matters now, okay? Why is that? Is it because you don't want us to stop spending our coins with you?
No, it's a shame that we haven't limited time. It's a shame we haven't limited time, because I was going to go into something else.
I wouldn't know, I know.
What I was going to ask was, can we just still separate the fact that racially ambiguous is not black?
Thank you.
Yes.
But anyway, that's all I'm going to say. See you next.
I wanted to touch on several things. The point you made, that we throw out statistics, and it said that how much power we have as the black consumer, how much money we spend and where we're placing this money. Okay, maybe not so much in fitness, but buying certain brands that don't represent you, having that particular car that has never had the picture of anything that represents you, but that is your aspiration. And we have that power of the consumer. We have it. It's about harnessing it. And again, very much the bandwagon that many have jumped on because it's very popular now. Again, use that power, because as much as it is very much excuse me, only now, okay, very much. Come along, but this is how we need to do it. These are the things that they need to acknowledge as larger brands. And I would also say a shout out to the smaller brands, because there are so many black brands out there that do think about the certain aspects of physicalities that we have and actually place that in whatever they make. So I think, to be honest, I'm personally more about finding the little, not the little man, but the someone that's not come up so much and has been thinking about the perspective of the black individual, or the people of colour individual, because that is another kind of thing, as you were mentioning before, whether it's ambiguous or not. There are people of colour, whether you're this complexion, that complexion, whichever origin, people of colour, people that are there, and to bring them up rather than having to aspire to, can I say certain names? No, I won't. Fine. Rather than to aspire to the major brands, that some aspire to. Forget the aspiration. Let's start from the base where we are and start elevating that. That's what I would love to see.
Joshua, I know you want to get your teeth into this, but I'm going to have to mix it with the next question. I'm going to have to mix it so you can put both answers together. All right. So, did you encounter any barriers? You have a gym, so this is right. So, did you encounter any barriers to getting into the fitness industry that prevent a sustainable career in comparison to white counterparts? So speak on the fact that you own a gym, and then you can go back to the influencer question as well.
Well, we own a gym, and we've been asked this question, and I have to say yes. 100% yes. There's certain things like, getting a building, to rent a building, people not calling you back, and there's no reason for it. And even times that there's been a time that we was used as a marketing tool to get us funding for this building, and as soon as they got the funding, they cut us.
No.
And they cut us straight away. And it was like, at the time we was very young in business, so we didn't have the solicitors that we can talk to now. Right now we got those are people that we can buy into to help us.
Were there any contracts or just empty promises?
It was empty promises. They used us. They came in. We're not going to name the organisation that gave the funding to this community project, and they just literally cut us. And these things happen. Leases just automatically. Our music's too loud, when they always knew that we was a fitness gym. So then we ended our lease. You got 30 days to move, and all those different questions. I truly believe, and me, Mecca and Labby, we truly believe if we was not of our descent, that would have happened. Even sometimes we have been asked during this pandemic some ridiculous things to do, like absolutely ridiculous.
Can you name?
I'll give you an example. One thing is, we was talking about where we're staying, and we was like, what can we do? And someone named our gym, and we was asking for funding, getting funding, and named our gym as a hobby. Like, this is your hobby. Oh, really? And I was like, and they said, but you get money from elsewhere, so why do it? And even in terms of money, there was the bounce back loan, and they was like, why don't you take out the bounce back loan and just end your business, because you don't have to pay it back?
Wow.
And I'm like, are you serious?
So a hobby, not a business.
And I don't think that same comment would have happened to another race, because we know it didn't happen, because there was other people that was also spoke to by this person, this organisation, and it was like, and we asked them, did they tell you to do that? They said no. So our beliefs was because of the colour of our skin, and that is ridiculous. How do you want us to cheat the government, take their £50,000 and run with it and say we ended our business? Oh, don't worry, you just have the 50,000. Like, that's going to change our lives, our children's life forever.
All right, and in 60 seconds, touch on the influencer.
I think the influencing part is really, it's nice. The following is nice, and it feels nice, but turning it into capital
for black influencers.
For black influencers, it doesn't happen.
influencers.
It doesn't happen. It's nice. You got the 20,000 followers, but that money and the sponsorships don't come as often, and it doesn't come. No one's approached us and said, "Oh, we want to do it." We're the only black. I think we're only 2 black gyms owners in London. I think it was, and no one's come to us and said,
well, congratulations.
Thank you very much for that. But no one's come to us and say, we're going to sponsor you, we're going to do that. Even though we're going to start knocking on the doors, we're going to use this, and we're going to use the platform of Black Lives Matter. Why not? This is something we've been traumatized, and I'm going to say trauma, because it is trauma, some of the things that we've experienced going and starting our business.
Okay, Malika?
I'll be honest, I can't say anyone has point blank come up against me in terms of, qualifying as a PT, no. Setting up an online business, no. Personal training, no. That hasn't happened to me. But maybe it is the scale that I'm at, which is comfortable for others to see. I feel like that whole thing of knocking down doors and banging on them, I've done that. I've knocked on doors and said, hi, I've achieved this, that and that. Mother-free, WBFF Pro, bodybuilder, etc., etc. I'd really like to work and collaborate with you, Aya. I've done it, absolutely nothing back. I've had certain brands come back to me and say, please email this person, and then I might not get an email back from them. But it's just. Can I say that's someone directly coming up against me, or can I say, sometimes you just have to kick and push and kick them doors down anyway? It is a hurdle, it is a process you have to go through when you're setting up anything.
But even if it's not an individual, do you think it's because of your race? Just up front. Yes or no, or is it because of your gender, or what do you think it is?
I think...
Because that's a whole different story.
Yeah, that is a whole different story. I hate to say it, but I do think there's an element of that 100% comes into it. It just does, and I feel like because it's almost like the operating platform that we're on, we kind of just... whatever, if it is, if it isn't, whatever, it's not going to stop me. And I think that's the kind of mindset that I try and have about it, because look, man, this is the life we live, this is the world we live in. Things like Black Lives Matter are not new, they've always mattered. Do you know what I mean? It's just now, and you see things and you and it's noted, but you've got to crack on, and it's not new news, you crack on, you push on, you do what you got to do. Regardless.
How is it for you?
I can't say about the influencer stage. But hey, bring it on.
Shout out your Insta,
I can say that I have seen in many aspects that there's not necessarily an equal footing with maybe what's handed out. And that is really the aspect. It's about how equal is that footing for whatever is on offer. As I said, I'm not an influencer yet.
Speak it.
You speak into existence. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
But I do think, there is a disparity thing. I'm just thinking, going back to everything that you've just said that you've done, and I think of how many black British athletes are there. I had a cousin who was an athlete, a sprinter, and he had to have a full-time job along with sprinting 100%. Because he could not get the sponsorship for him.
100,000,000%.
And this is the
I
thing.
have a full-time job as well, by the way.
This is the thing. It's about it's what we have to do to make it through. It's not always just because that's what we want. And another aspect, I'm sorry, I'm probably diverting, but it just brings to mind Chronic's, one of my favourite tunes. We do it for the love. We don't do it for the like. And ultimately what we do and what we give and what we're hoping to give is coming from the soul, it's coming from the heart. And whether you're going to follow, tick, whatever, hey, it's about, please come and find us. Please know that we're there. Please know that something is there for you. You have to seek it, but we also need that platform to shout out loud so you know where to find it. I'm sorry if I diverted.
No, that's fine. I just want to touch on it a little bit as well, because I'm a bodybuilder, 4-time champion, and I'm a personal trainer. I've been doing this, and I feel like I've knocked on so many doors. To the point that you just get tired, you get weary, and then it's almost just as you're about to give up, then something happens. So now I do 2 classes live per week, and I get paid for it. She's amazing. I have to shout her out, Kira London. Her platform's amazing. But the thing is that I just feel like there's so many emails that I've sent that are unread, or they've seen it, they've looked at me, nah, she doesn't fit the criteria, and I think that is a real big issue. Now, would I say that it's because I'm black? Honestly, yes, I would. I'm just going to be very frank. But then do I feel like we can turn that around and use it to our advantage? Yes, I do. Look at where we're at. NoireFitFest has put this together.
Amazing,
So shout out to all of you. Shout out to all of you. What you have done is amazing. And thank you for choosing each of us to actually speak our voice and just put it out there. Guys, I'm going to just jump into the last question because we're watching our time. So what are the positive and negative experiences of being in the wellness and fitness industry, and what improvements would you like? Joshua.
I'm going to talk about the positives. I think just like giving people opportunities. Like, we've done so many things as a business to give back to our community, and we are very intentional. It's not that we're not anti-white, we're just pro-black, using Stormzy's line. It's like we've done so many things to make sure we give back, and that is something it's lovely to see. So even if we have to do children events and we do like fitness for children, even during the lockdown we did like a whole online service for children, and it was beautiful to see all these young, it was like black boys all tuning in to us, and we was able to do that. We was able to go in last Christmas, we did a shoebox movement. It's like we gave out loads of trainers on Christmas Day to different people to help out. And I think from being a business owner and a black business owner, it's so great. And you know, someone came into our gym the other day and it's like, so who's the owner? And you know, I'm in my gym gear and I'd be like, we're the owners. We are the owners. And it was like, and you could just see the spark in their eye, and it was, and they're adults. It's like, really? And that feeling, it's just I can't even, it's invaluable and it's lovely. And you want to keep giving that spark and keep taking it to the level. So I'm going to look at the positive side, and I want to keep pushing, and that's why we want to grow bigger. We want to do it. It is for the love. We do love it. We love fitness, and we are great, and we are excellent. And that's another thing. We also have black excellence. Our business is excellent. We do the things that are right. What we do, and the hair is excellence as well. So that's another thing we need to push, and we are being a positive representation constantly.
And as a black man, I'm just going to put that in there. Speak on the negative.
Negatives is naturally, you know, the stereotypes that come in. You know, and I want to put this out there. We also touched on the question before. There's a difference between sports people and health and fitness as well. Because a lot of people say, oh, well, the black people, they're into doing basketball, they're into doing the football, but the fitness industry is so much bigger than that. And that's why they would naturally, people say, oh, is there any racism in the fitness industry? No, because we see Usain Bolt, we see this happening.
Serena Williams.
That's not what we're talking about.
That's not what
you got your athlete.
They have Nike.
You get your sponsors through that. Look, I see Dizzy Rascal wearing Adidas. You got that. But there's so much more to fitness, and it's about the health, the well-being. And I think sometimes the negative aspects, people see you and say, you know what? No, we're not going to sponsor you. We're not going to rent our studio at you. Oh, you do fitness.
I know so many black people that get profiled
because
of the car they drive.
You know, we even made a point, like, we're looking for a bigger space. Do we need to always watch should we send somebody else in to go and view a place? And that thinking is so negative. And as a black man, we don't want to come there, and I'm not going to lie, two of my directors, they're like 6'4", and they're built like an ox, and you know, you can see the intimidation when they come through the door, and like,
are you the bodyguard?
And you know, so we think, maybe do we need to send our wives in to go and do their viewing for us?
Do you know what this harks to? And this is what
I know I went off target, but that's the negatives that we experience.
It harks back to the moment our parents came here. I'm personally first generation. I come from both African and Caribbean heritage. And almost you will send someone else in just to view the house, to get the house. And then you will come, and then you'll be the one in the house. And then they've already given you, they've already accepted the money, so there's nothing one can do. And back to, I have a son, and he's 14, and he's 6'2.5". already.
Wow,
From the moment he
14.
was, I know this is the joke, but from the moment, again, from the black male perspective, I said, and I know as a parent, it's so hard. We say, yes, try hard, not even try harder, you have to be better, you have to be better. But the problem is there was already this obstacle of, because of just of the stance of the being, which is disgusting, it's terrible.
So Zelia,
however,
40 seconds.
Sorry,
positives and negatives.
Positive, the fact is we're still here, we're still doing it, and trust me, find us, we're here. There's something for you. The negative, that we just need that wider platform to have the voice. I can't say anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right, Malika?
I'm going to start with the negatives quickly and then
Go
end
on.
on the positives.
Do it.
The negatives for me, and we ain't got much time, but I'm going to start it after. I feel as a black woman in the fitness industry, we're pitted against each other and also against our black male counterparts. I feel in general on a level, black men do better in fitness than black women. I'll take your points after this. So that's a negative for me. And also, again, just echoing onto that whole platform and just not having the visibility as opposed to our sort of white counterparts, and that there's really an imbalance there, and that needs to be met together. Things like Black Lives Matter are doing that, regardless of what we think about, you know, the real intentions behind it, and people, you know, thinking about their coins rather than thinking about the lives of people. But, you know, it's happening, so I feel that's a positive we can take. And just the fact, like you said, we're doing this from our hearts, we're doing it for love. I'm not interested in how many followers I have, I'm interested in that. I'm interested in the people that I can impact through doing something that I love and enjoy.
So that's
I did
positive.
18 weeks of free live classes twice a week, during COVID, because I wanted to give back. And that's my passion, end of.
Okay.
Excellent.
Any final thoughts? Come on, guys. Each of you. Joshua, final thoughts?
I'm just thinking of just maybe a call to action. Let's just, you know, even the allies, you talk about being allies, be intentional. And we need to be intentional as black owners, and we need to, and also the white allies need to be intentional. Understand, sponsor, help us.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Speak to us.
to the camera.
Speak to us.
We don't
Help
bite.
us. Speak to us. We're here. We can work together and make it happen. And really, and what better place to start with us? Contact us, everybody here, and make it happen for us.
Look at all of the hashtags. Look at everybody that has taken part with this wonderful, wonderful whole notion of being. And just, you know, give the opportunity there, and the fair opportunity. Not just the minimal, we're trying for a bit, fair opportunity. Give it.
Malika, final thoughts?
My final thought would be, as well as, you know, other big brands and companies, you know, we've got a platform here, NoireFitFest being what it is today. We're all here as black fitness professionals, you know, in our own rights. We all need to start working together as well to, you know, really carry these platforms a lot further and expand on that. And that's what I'd say.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. This has been amazing. Let's quickly shout our Insta pages, our socials. Joshua?
At Elite Evolution, at Elite Evolution. Come.
Okay. Malika?
I'm Malika Faye at malikafayefitness.
Okay. And our soon-to-be influencer?
Zelia Zone _IHP for the hit stuff, and Yoga Zone with Zelia for the chill stuff.
Okay. And I'm Miss Fit Queen UK. That's MS Fit Queen UK, and make sure that you follow all of us. Thank you so much for this opportunity. One more time, I'm just going to shout out our sponsors. So that's Drink Food, EMD UK, Sweaty Betty, and Forest Space. And thank you so much to NoireFitFest. Make sure you use the hashtag. And guys, it's been amazing.
Excellent.